Hey fam, I'm Brent and welcome to the Daily Devo. And today we're going to talk about how God sees you. So in Genesis 16, we have this crazy love triangle. It's a triangle between Abram, Sarai, but today we'll call her Sarah, and Hagar. God has given Abram a promise of a son that he would have through his wife, Sarah. Now, unfortunately, God didn't move soon enough according to Sarah's timetable. So Sarah devised her own plan. Let me pause and say this again because we're going to come back to it. Sarah devised her own plan. She told Abram to sleep with her maidservant, Hagar. And let me remind you, Hagar is not Abram's wife. Well, as the story goes, Hagar gets pregnant. And as the months are going by, Hagar starts treating Sarah with contempt. And Sarah then blames Hagar's behavior on Abram. Now, Abram gets frustrated and tells Sarah to deal with Hagar however you please. But then Sarah begins treating Hagar harshly. So Hagar says, I'm done with both of y'all, and runs away. Well, beginning at verse 7 in Genesis chapter 16, an angel finds Hagar in the wilderness and gives her a message from God. Here's what it says. It says, the angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a spring of water in the wilderness along the road to Shur. The angel said to her, Hagar, Sarah's servant, where have you come from and where are you going? I'm running away from my mistress, Sarah, she replied. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit to her authority. Then he added, I will give you more descendants than you can count. And the angel also said, you are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, which means God hears. For the Lord has heard your cry of distress. The son of yours will be a wild man, as untamed as a wild donkey. He will raise his fist against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live in open hostility against all his relatives. Thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to the Lord who had spoken to her. She said, you are the God who sees me. This is El Roi. She also said, I have truly seen the one who sees me. So that well named Ber Lachi Roi, which means well of the living one who sees me, it can still be found between Kadesh and Berea. There are a few things that come to mind, but one thing that really sticks out. Hagar, who had nothing to do with Abram and Sarah's problem, who had nothing to do with Sarah's inability to get pregnant, is nothing more than a victim, watch this, to the plans of man. You see, God never told Sarah to have Abram to go and sleep with Hagar. And God never gave permission to Abram to fulfill his wife's request. And no matter how you look at it, Hagar had no say in the matter. But she's left dealing with the pain, dealing with the hurt, dealing with the disappointment because of the plans that man made, not plans that God made. But here's the beauty in it. El Roi, the God who sees, the God who saw her, he saw that pain and saw that hurt, and he still blessed her. And he told her to go back, not because the disposition of Abram and Sarah was going to change, but because it was his will for her to go back. If you're listening today and you find yourself frustrated, hurt, or disappointed because you're dealing with the consequences of someone else's decision, someone else's plan, know that God sees you. I want to encourage you not to run away in anger and disappointment. Rather, take that anger and disappointment and run towards the center of God's will who can heal. A God who not only sees what you're going through, but a God who also wants to bless you. A God we call El Roi.